There's a moment in the cutthroat arena of your career, say you're gunning for that promotion you've been eyeing for months, when your boss corners you in a casual chat and probes, "So, what are your long-term plans here?" The average person does what they were trained to do. They spill everything, blurting out, "Oh, I'm really aiming for that senior role. I've been putting in extra hours to prove it." Or, "I see myself leading the team in a year." It sounds honest, transparent, even admirable in our feel-good world of open communication. But to Machiavelli, this is suicide. It's handing your enemies the blade to slit your throat, exposing your intentions like a fool in the predator's den, guaranteeing you'll be blocked, undermined, and left powerless. Gentlemen, if you're a man between 20 and 35, grinding in a world that chews up the naive and spits out the transparent, this video is your wake-up call. Today, we're dissecting why true leaders always hide their intentions. Machiavelli's brutal control insight that turns ambiguity into your most dangerous weapon. Stick around, because by the end, you'll master the art of deceptive opacity, confusing enemies and allies alike, granting you unchallenged control and the respect of a true power player. Hit that subscribe button if you're ready to stop being predictable and start being untouchable. Let's dive in. Let's establish this absolute statement about power dynamics. In any arena of human conflict, be it the boardroom, the bedroom, or the battlefield, transparency is not strength. It's a fatal vulnerability that invites predators to strike. The universal truth about human nature is that people are inherently self-serving creatures, always scanning for weaknesses to exploit. Reveal your intentions, and you become prey. Conceal them, and you become the predator who strikes from the shadows. Machiavelli nails this in The Prince, where he warns, "Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions." This principle isn't some dusty relic. It's the ironclad rule of control. Consider the binary comparison. The weak man broadcasts his plans like a billboard, thinking honesty builds trust, but it only arms his rivals with the map to sabotage him. The strong man, the Machiavellian leader, hides his intentions behind a veil of ambiguity, turning every interaction into a surgical strike where others guess, falter, and submit. You don't want to be the open book everyone reads and discards. You want to be the enigma they fear and follow. The more you reveal, the more you lose. The more you conceal, the more you command. This isn't optional. It's the foundation of dominance. Leaders like Cesare Borgia, whom Machiavelli admired, thrived by keeping allies guessing and enemies off balance. Transparency? That's for the powerless masses. Concealment? That's your path to effortless power. Now, let's go deeper into why people exhibit this weak behavior of oversharing intentions. It's rooted in a false belief drilled into us from childhood, that transparency equals integrity, and integrity wins loyalty. Society sells this lie through self-help gurus and corporate team-building seminars. Be authentic, share your vision. But it's a trap designed to keep the average person controllable. Psychologically, this stems from a deep-seated need for approval, what Carl Jung might call the shadow of our insecure ego, where we crave validation so badly that we expose our underbelly, inviting the blade. False beliefs abound here. 1. If I'm honest about my goals, people will support me. Brutal truth. No. They'll envy you, block you, or steal your ideas. Another. Hiding intentions makes me seem shady. Wrong again. It makes you dangerous, untouchable, like a coiled serpent no one dares provoke. Robert Greene echoes Machiavelli in the 48 Laws of Power. Law 3. Conceal your intentions, because predictability is the death of strategy. Sun Tzu adds tactical weight in The Art of War. All warfare is based on deception. These aren't opinions. They're proven frameworks from history's masters. Strategically reframe this from weakness to control. Instead of seeing concealment as deceit, view it as armor. Your intentions are your most valuable asset, not to be squandered. Psychologically, this shift exploits human nature's fear of the unknown. When others can't read you, their anxiety spikes. They project their worst fears onto your silence, handing you the reins. The average person stays powerless because they cling to the illusion of fair play. But you're awakening to the Machiavellian insight. Ambiguity isn't sneaky, it's commanding. It creates a false binary in their minds, either submit to the mystery or risk destruction. Let's get surgical with this. Why does transparency fail? Because human psychology is wired for exploitation. Studies in evolutionary psychology show we're descendants of survivors who outmaneuvered the obvious. By hiding intentions, you trigger cognitive dissonance in others. They expect clarity, but you give fog, forcing them to fill in the blanks with doubt. Greene describes this as keeping people suspended in terror, a direct nod to Machiavelli's fox-like cunning. You don't want the comfort of openness, you want the edge of uncertainty. The more you practice this reframe, the more effortless it becomes, turning your mind into a fortress, where intentions are weapons, not weaknesses. This isn't abstract philosophy, it's your psychological upgrade. False belief, transparency builds alliances. Reality, it builds targets on your back. Reframe, concealment builds empires. Sun Tzu reinforces, appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. Jung might tie this to the archetype of the trickster, the shadow self that thrives in ambiguity, but Machiavelli is our North Star. 70% of true power comes from his playbook. By embracing this, you shatter the chains of predictability, stepping into dominance. All right, gentlemen, theory is worthless without application. Let's build this out with 3 real-world scenarios, each ripped from the lives of men like you, feeling powerless in work, relationships, and social circles. We'll dissect the specific verbal attacks or challenges, the weak response most people default to, the strong Machiavellian response, the power dynamic shift, and the psychological reasoning behind it. Remember, these aren't hypotheticals. They're battlegrounds where hiding intentions turns you from prey to predator. First scenario, the business or workplace situation. Imagine you're in a team meeting, angling for a project lead role that could skyrocket your career. Your rival colleague, sensing your ambition, launches a verbal attack. Hey, your name. I heard you're pushing hard for that lead spot. What's your big plan if you get it? Spill the details. We're all on the same team here. The immediate stake. If you reveal, he can undermine you to the boss later. The weak response, what the average person does. You cave to the pressure of team spirit, saying, yeah, I'm thinking of restructuring the workflow to boost efficiency. I've got some ideas on automating reports. It sounds collaborative, but you've just handed him ammunition to poke holes in your plan privately. Now, the strong Machiavellian response. Hide your intentions behind ambiguity. Reply with a calm, enigmatic smile. Plans? Let's just say I'm focused on delivering results that speak for themselves. What about you? Any thoughts on how we crush this quarter? You deflect, probe back, and reveal nothing. The power dynamic shift. Instantly you've flipped the script, from being the exposed target to the mysterious force. He stumbles, unsure of your angle, while the room senses your commanding presence. Psychologically, this works because ambiguity triggers his paranoia. Machiavelli teaches that men fear the unknown more than the known threat. By not revealing, you create a false binary in his mind. Either he backs off, or he risks exposing his own weaknesses. Greene would call this the mask of inscrutability, keeping rivals off balance. You don't want to be the predictable employee. You want to be the untouchable leader in waiting. The more he guesses, the more he weakens. Second scenario. The romantic or personal relationship situation. You're in a budding relationship and things are heating up, but you sense she's testing your commitment level, maybe to see if she can control the pace. Over dinner, she hits you with a challenge. So where do you see this going? Are you thinking long-term, or is this just fun for now? Be honest. The stake? Reveal too much, and she gains leverage to manipulate your emotions or pull away. The weak response? The average guy, desperate for approval, overshares. Honestly, I see us building something serious. I've been thinking about introducing you to my friends soon. It feels vulnerable, but it makes you predictable, handing her the reins. The strong Machiavellian response: conceal with playful ambiguity. Say, where it's going. Let's enjoy the ride and see what unfolds. Mystery keeps things exciting, don't you think? Pair it with a confident gaze, shifting the focus back to her. Power dynamic shift. She goes from interrogator to intrigued pursuer. You've armored your intentions, making her chase clarity. Psychologically, this exploits female attraction to the enigmatic man. Sun Tzu's deception principle applies here. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night. Machiavelli advises princes to appear merciful while being ruthless. Similarly, hide your emotional investment to maintain dominance. False belief shattered. Transparency builds intimacy. Reality. It builds dependency on her terms. You don't want to be the open-hearted fool. You want to be the dangerous enigma she craves. The more she probes, the more she invests. Third scenario, the social or group dynamic situation. You're at a guy's night out, establishing your status in a new circle, maybe networking with potential business contacts disguised as friends. One alpha type challenges you verbally. Dude, you're always talking big game about your side hustle. What's the real plan? You gonna quit your job and go all in or what? Stake. Expose your moves, and he could spread doubt or steal your thunder. Weak response. The powerless default is to clarify. Yeah, man, I'm planning to scale it up next year and maybe leave the 9 to 5. Sounds ambitious, but now he's armed to gossip or compete. Strong Machiavellian response. Veil it in ambiguity. Plans. Let's just say I'm building something that pays off in ways you wouldn't expect. What's your next move? Still grinding that same gig, direct and conceal. Power dynamic shift. The group dynamic tilts. You become the intriguing wild card, commanding respect as others whisper about your hidden depths. Psychologically, this creates social proof through mystery. Jung's shadow archetype comes into play, where the unknown evokes awe and submission. Machiavelli's quote fits: "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Ambiguity breeds that fear. Greene's law. Keep others in suspended terror. You don't want to be the transparent buddy. You want to be the dominant shadow everyone orbits. The more they speculate, the more your status rises. These scenarios aren't isolated. They're interconnected threads in your life. Master hiding intentions here, and watch the ripple effects. Work promotions lead to social respect, which bolsters romantic dominance. Remember, the average person reveals and regrets. The Machiavellian conceals and conquers. Here's the coldest move. Let's get surgical with tactical implementation. I'll give you 3 specific tools and techniques, complete with example phrases, step-by-step application, and advanced psychological maneuvers. These are drawn straight from Machiavelli's playbook, sharpened with Greene and Sun Tzu for maximum edge. Implement them today, and watch your control skyrocket. First tool, the deflection mirror. This technique uses ambiguity as a mirror to reflect questions back, concealing your intentions while extracting theirs. Step by step. 1. Pause for a beat to build tension. 2. Respond with a vague, positive statement that reveals nothing. 3. Immediately counter-question to shift focus. Example phrase. In a workplace probe like, "What's your strategy for this deal?" Say, "Strategy. It's evolving to ensure we win big. What's your take on the risks?" Advanced maneuver. Psychologically, this creates a false binary. They either answer and expose themselves or stay silence. and appear weak per Sun Tzu's attack where they are unprepared. Second tool, the enigmatic smile armor. Armor your expressions to hide emotional tells, turning your face into an impenetrable shield. Steps: 1. Maintain neutral eye contact. 2. Smile subtly without warmth. Think predator sizing up prey. 3. Pair with ambiguous language like, "Time will tell," or "Let's see how the pieces fall." Example in romance. If she asks, "Are you serious about us?" Reply, "Serious? Actions speak louder than words. Let's keep building." Advanced. This triggers cognitive dissonance, as Greene notes, making them doubt their read on you, echoing Machiavelli's fox and lion duality. Third tool, the shadow feint. Feint weakness or distraction to conceal true intentions like a blade hidden in the dark. Steps: 1. Plant a minor false lead, e.g., "I'm just focusing on the basics right now." 2. Observe their reaction for intel. 3. Strike when they lower their guard. Example in social settings. "Nah, my side hustle's just a hobby for now. What's yours?" Advanced psychological maneuver. This exploits reciprocity. People reveal more when they think you're vulnerable, per evolutionary psychology, but you're actually gathering ammunition. Machiavelli advises, appear as you wish to seem, turning feints into dominance. Practice these daily. Start small in low-stakes chats, scale to high-pressure moments. You don't want rote responses, you want instinctive weapons. The more you deploy them, the more untouchable you become. Gentlemen, let's talk transformation. From your current weak state of transparency, where you're the predictable pawn in everyone else's game, to the effortless power state of a Machiavellian leader. Right now, you might feel like the average man, exposed, blocked in promotions, manipulated in relationships, overlooked in social circles. But by internalizing this control insight, hiding intentions as your default armor, you evolve. No more spilling plans like blood on the battlefield. Instead, you become the shadow predator, commanding fear and respect without a word. This identity transformation is profound. You shed the skin of the open, approval-seeking boy and emerge as the dangerous, untouchable man, effortless in your ambiguity, surgical in your strikes. Imagine it. Allies follow you blindly. Enemies hesitate in paranoia, and opportunities flow because no one can predict your next move. It's not about effort, it's about mindset. Once concealed intentions become your instinct, power flows naturally, like a river carving through stone. You achieve this effortless state by consistent practice. Start today. Conceal one intention. Feel the shift. Repeat. The more you hide, the more you rise. Machiavelli's final authority rings true. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. Embrace this, and you're no longer controlled. You control. If this resonated, comment your biggest takeaway, and subscribe for more brutal insights. Until next time, stay hidden, stay dominant, stay